Have you ever wondered why two people can eat the same food, do the same workout, follow the same healthy lifestyle, and one of them thrives while the other just crashes? Same inputs, totally different results. What if the difference isn't willpower, but energy? In this video, I want to introduce you to a different way of looking at health and the body, a perspective called bioenergetics, inspired by the work of physiologist Ray Peat. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right and still not feeling great, this might be the missing piece. Welcome to Energy First, Ray Peat's Bioenergetic Blueprint. In this series, we're going to explore what happens when we flip the usual health script and put energy production at the very center. Not supplements first, not discipline first, not eating clean first, energy first. Before we dive in, I'd like to share a quick note. Nothing in this video or in this series is medical advice. It's for education and curiosity. Always talk to your healthcare provider first before making big changes in your diet, adding new supplements, or medication. Alright, let's start with the basics. What is bioenergetics? Bioenergetics is simply the study of how living things produce and use energy. We usually think of energy as something vague. I feel low energy. I have no energy for the gym. But at the cellular level, energy is very concrete. Your cells are constantly turning food, oxygen, hormones, and light into a kind of usable energy currency. You've probably heard of it. It's called ATP. You don't have to remember every biochemical pathway. But here's the key idea. The way your cells make and use energy shapes everything else about your body. Your hormones, your mood, your digestion, your sleep, and your response to stress. And this is where Ray Peat comes in. Who was Ray Peat and why is he relevant? Ray Peat was a physiologist who spent decades studying hormones, metabolism, and the environment, and how all of these interact with energy production in the body. He was famous, and maybe infamous, for questioning a lot of mainstream assumptions that polyunsaturated fats are always good, that low carb is better, that low thyroid function is rare, that you can treat individual symptoms without looking at the underlying energy state of the whole system. Whether you agree with him on everything or not, his work gives us a powerful framework. Instead of asking, how do we suppress this symptom? He asks, what's happening to the energy system in this person? And that's what we're going to explore in this series. Why energy comes first. So what do we mean when we say energy comes first? Think of your body as a city. Energy is the electricity and fuel that keeps everything running. Hormones are like signals and policies. Organs are like districts and factories. If the city has plenty of clean, reliable energy, everything works. Traffic lights, hospitals, schools, factories. Trash gets picked up. Repairs get made. But if the power grid starts failing, it doesn't matter how well designed the buildings are, it doesn't matter how disciplined the citizens are. Without energy, the city starts cutting corners, shutting down, redirecting resources just to survive. Ray Peat's basic claim is, in a low energy state, the body goes into a stress metabolism. In a high energy state, the body can repair, can regenerate, it can function well. So instead of starting with what drug kills this symptom, he asks, is this person producing enough energy? Are their cells able to use that energy efficiently? What's blocking this process? Let's simplify Ray Peat's view into two broad modes. A, energy mode. When metabolism is working well, your cells are making plenty of energy from sugar and oxygen. The thyroid is active enough. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are relatively low most of the time. You feel warm, reasonably calm, emotionally flexible, able to digest food, able to recover from stress. On the contrary, we have B, stress mode. When energy production is struggling, the body starts leaning on stress hormones to keep you going. It may break down tissue for fuel. It might rely on fatty acids in a way that's not sustainable long term. You may feel cold hands and feet, anxious, wired but tired, constipated, bloated, brain fog, and sleep issues. From a bioenergetic perspective, many chronic issues can be seen as a different expression for the body spending too much time in this stress mode, just trying to cope with low energy availability. Again, this is not a diagnosis, it's a lens, a way of understanding patterns. Most health advice today focuses on inputs in a very mechanical way. Eat fewer calories, cut out that micronutrient, push harder in the gym, take this pill, this supplement, this new protocol. But in Ray Peat's energetic view, the same input can have very different effects on the person's energy state. For example, fasting might feel amazing for someone with a robust metabolism, but push someone deeper into stress, insomnia, and hormonal chaos. Cutting carbohydrates might help someone lose some water weight and feel sharp, but for someone else might make them cold, anxious, and exhausted. Instead of asking, is keto good or bad, or is fasting good or bad, Peat's framework asks, what does this do to the energy system of this particular person right now? That's a huge shift in thinking. If you've already bumped into Ray Peat's work online, you may have noticed some themes. He talks positively about sugar from fruit or juice. He talks a lot about thyroid hormone and low thyroid function. He cares about carbon dioxide, not just oxygen. He is skeptical of excessive polyunsaturated fat intake. In this intro video, we're not going deep into those topics just yet. That's what the rest of the series is for. But here's the common thread. All these things are, in his view, closely tied to how well the body can produce energy efficiently and avoid getting stuck in chronic stress chemistry. Sugar, when used properly, can be a clean fuel source for the body. Thyroid hormone helps set the metabolic rate. Think about a flame under a pot. CO2 helps your body actually use oxygen efficiently. And certain fats can either support or interfere with that energy machinery. So it's not about arguing for or against one food or one hormone in isolation. It's about asking, does this support efficient, flexible energy production in this person, or does it push them towards stress? So what can you expect from the rest of the series? Energy First, Ray Peat's Bioenergetic Blueprint. Here's some of the upcoming episodes. We'll look at what energy actually is in the cell. In plain English, we'll talk about the thyroid as a kind of metabolic spark plug. We'll explore why Ray Peat thought sugar is often less of a villain than people expect. We'll break down the difference between saturated and polyunsaturated fats from a bioenergetic angle. We'll talk about stress hormones, CO2, body temperature, pulse, and why simple markers may tell you more than some lab tests. And finally, we'll talk about how to apply this perspective in the real world without going crazy, dogmatic, or obsessive. The goal isn't to turn Ray Peat into some guru or to give you a strict formula. The goal is to give you a framework, a way to interpret your own experience and make more informed decisions about food, lifestyle, and recovery. Equally important, what is this series not? It's not a replacement for medical care. It's not a promise that if you eat this peaty food, somehow you'll magically heal yourself. And it's not about copying someone else's exact diet or supplement stack. People are different, stress histories are different, genetics, environment, and life circumstances are different. So instead of trying to give you a one-size-fits-all plan, I'm going to focus on principles. What tends to support energy production? What tends to push people into chronic stress according to this framework? How you can experiment safely and gradually and observe your own body. Before we wrap up, I want you to take a moment and reflect. Do you often feel cold or have a low body temperature? Do you swing between feeling wired and anxious and then totally exhausted? Do you have digestion that is easily upset by stress or changes in routine? Do you feel like you're always pushing through and relying on coffee and willpower? In a bioenergetic lens, these can be signs that your body is spending a lot of time in a stressed state, trying to compensate for a lack of easy, efficient energy. Again, it's not a diagnosis, it's just a pattern worth noticing. In the next video, we'll start unpacking why that happens and what might help So, to summarize this first episode, bioenergetics is about how living systems make and use energy. Ray Peat's big idea is that energy comes first, and that many chronic issues are the downstream result of chronically low, inefficient energy production. Instead of obsessing over individual symptoms, this approach asks, what's happening to this person's energy system, and how can we support it? If that way of thinking resonates with you, or at least makes you curious, then you're in the right place. In the next episode, we'll dive into what energy really means at the cellular level in normal language without getting lost in biochemistry jargon. If you found this helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next parts of the series. And in the comments, let me know what part of Ray Peat's work confuses you the most, or if you're new to this, what's the one symptom or pattern in your life that you'd love to understand through this bioenergetic lens. Thanks for watching, and remember, when in doubt, start with energy.